Ladies and gentlemen, in the moments ahead, I'm going to be demonstrating the power of coaching. One of the things we learn from NLP is that we take a concept and we turn it back into a process. A lot of people, and they've said this to me throughout my life, Daniel, go out and be a success. They tell me to be a success in sports. They tell me to be a success in business. But if it was that easy, I would have done it. What I learned was that success is a concept. We have to be able to take that concept and put it back into a process. And the 5 principles of success give us 5 key areas to focus on in order to be successful. So in the moments ahead, I'm going to share with you an insight into the NLP coach training and certification. My client, Sam, she's here to have her own success breakthrough. She wants to have more success in business. She wants to have more success as a mother, and she wants to break through those mental and emotional blockages from the past. You will see in this video, when I take Sam through the 5 principles of success, how deep we go. We don't spend too much time looking at the surface problem, we're going straight down deep into the heart of the issue. And as the result, the client has an emotional response. The client is now more self-aware. She knows exactly what she wants. Our client knows exactly the action she needs to take in order to become successful. My client also understands the behavioural flexibility that she will need to be able to achieve her outcomes. She knows the senses that she'll be aware of, the things that could potentially hold her back through this process. My client Sam also knows exactly how to hold her body. And these are 5 key areas that you need in your life and your business if you'd like to become successful. NLP coaching is a leadership methodology. These are leadership strategies and they enable people to perform at their best. So go ahead, watch the video right now and I'll share some more key ideas after this video. Secondly, we'll ask them, what action can you take right now to get 1 step closer to your success breakthrough? The journey of 1,000 leagues starts with how many steps? 1 step. All we're doing is asking our client to take 1 step. Is that simple? It's the law of incremental increase. What did Al Pacino say the other day? Football and life is a game of inches. We've just got to get them to take 1 step. If they can take 1 step, then what will happen? That success mechanism and that success habit. Thirdly, we'll ask them the question, how will you know when you're on or off track? So in the book, The 5 Principles of Success, a client who says, I want to make $1 million worth of sales needs to know when he's on or off track. Because I've worked with salespeople who've had $1 million targets and they're out drinking coffee with their friends. They're out doing their dry cleaning during business hours and they have no idea what they're doing. They don't even realise that they've left the path. So you've got to put these frames inside of the client's mind. If you're flicking through Facebook and it has nothing to do with business, are you on or off track? Off track. If you're doing a Facebook Live and you're generating leads, are you on track or off track? On track. How many hours have you wasted just flicking through Facebook mindlessly? And then you ask yourself, what am I doing? What we said before is that if you're 1% off per hour, you could end up 600 miles away from your destination. But most people don't even realise. But if you put it in their mind to start with and they start to flick through Facebook, they'll say, you know what, I'm off the path, back to work. Back to work. So they need to know when they're on track, but they also need to know when they're off track. We'll then ask them, what behavioural flexibility will you require to have your success breakthrough? Perhaps there's some skeleton in the closet and it's the one thing that you refuse to deal with. It could be the one person that you refuse to forgive. It could be the one action that you're not willing to take. So we have to ask them, what behavioural flexibility will you require to have your success breakthrough? Will you need to be vulnerable throughout the process? If you've got a fear of rejection, and you think, wow, what if I tell somebody what's really holding me back? Will they accept me? So you might have to put that to the side and say, you know what, I'm prepared to deal with that so I can have this breakthrough. And then, how will I need to hold or use my body during the success breakthrough? We've had clients in the past, they sit here and they go, do it to me, make me do it. And that's their physiology. They just sit there and they just stare. I dare you, nope me. There's no nilping. So, what we know about physiology is that if you're sitting with your spine straight and your shoulders back and your chin up, it's impossible to feel depressed. Put a big smile on your face and try to be depressed. I'm really sad right now. I'm really sad. I'm 10x sad. It's impossible. So the fastest way to change your mental and emotional state is to change your physical body. But now slump your shoulders forward. Put a frown on your face and try to think of something that really upsets you. It's pretty easy, isn't it? Try to be happy now. I like myself. I love my children. It's impossible, isn't it? So the physiology has to match the psychology. So constantly watch out for one another. Have a look at each other's physiology. If somebody's got a sore back and they're sitting there like this and they're smiling, that's okay. But if they're sitting there like this going, nope me motherfucker, and give them a backhander and tell them to step up. Okay? So 5 principles of success. Sam, thanks for volunteering. Come and join me. Bring up your manual. So remember, it's a coaching session and we converse with our clients. We're not demanding them answer this question. We're playing with them. Welcome. Thanks for joining me. Okay, so from top to bottom, and we'll let the client empty out. Emptying out is just saying to the client, what else? Smile, acknowledge them, and we always want to give people time to think. So if we're thinking of the next question to ask, as soon as Sam's mouth's closed, I'll try to jump in there and say the next thing. But people, when they're exhaling, they're talking. Try to talk and breathe in. Go ahead, try to talk and breathe in. It's impossible. Let them catch a breath, think, and go again. That's how we coach. So welcome to the Success Breakthrough.
Thank you.
How you doing?
All right, thank you.
You right?
Yeah.
What's this?
I feel a bit nervous.
Feel nervous?
Yeah.
What are you nervous about?
I don't know.
If you did know, what would it be?
Being here.
Being here?
Yeah. In front of everyone.
In front of who? I don't see anybody. They're just your projections.
Okay.
They came here for you to be able to succeed faster and easier.
Okay.
Isn't that nice of them?
Mm-hmm. Because
if they weren't here, I couldn't have flown over for one person. So thanks for being here for Sam. Thank you so much.
Hey.
So we have these agreements. If you're a little bit spiritual, we might have these agreements and say, look, hey, I want to come here, but to get Daniel here from the other side of the world, we better group together and do this as a group. Because we talked about it yesterday. We're a team. And we looked across at one another and we made that commitment that said, I'm willing to go that extra inch. So they're here to support you.
Okay.
And if they weren't here, it wouldn't be possible.
Okay.
So thank you so much.
Yay.
So you've come to the Success Breakthrough, and what's your outcome for the Success Breakthrough?
So I can release all my fears.
To release all my fears. And just out of curiosity, which fears?
That I'm not good enough. Fear of failure, fear of success, fear of other people think of me. Fear of everything. Like heights.
Mm-hmm.
Of afraid of heights. Getting jumpy with strangers, I didn't realise that bothered me so much, but it does.
Okay. It's a big one, isn't it?
Mm.
Are you afraid of my pen?
No.
So not everything.
Not everything.
Not everything. Just want to make sure. Are you afraid of my cologne?
I can't smell it.
Can't smell it?
Smell mine.
Okay, good. So you're not afraid of that one then? Okay. So we can have a bit of fun with our clients as well. Good. So to release all of my fears that I'm not good enough, fear of success, fear of failure, fear of heights, fear of strangers.
Fear of letting my husband down.
Anything else?
I think that's it.
If there was anything else, what would it be?
Letting my kids down.
So what you can do is just let the client process. That's a big one.
Yeah.
How long's that been on your mind for?
Since I was pregnant with my first. Since I found out I was pregnant with my first.
During the pregnancy?
Yeah.
First trimester, second trimester?
Right from the beginning, the first trimester.
Mm. And what was the fear?
I had to, me and my partner just got together and we wasn't married, and obviously my family are Indian, and I had to go and live with my family for a bit because his flat was getting done, and I had to hide it from my family. And then when I told them, they were really upset because obviously I wasn't married, and then I got shingles and I didn't have my partner around, and then I didn't want to tell work because I didn't want to lose my job. So I was at a really low place.
That emotion that was present with the family, was that shame?
It was like I was just scared of letting them down. I didn't want to let them down.
Mm-hmm. Was there any guilt in there or embarrassment?
Not so much guilt, but I felt, yeah, maybe a bit ashamed.
Would you like to let go of that also?
Yeah, that's a big thing, I think.
Excellent. Now, what action can you take today to get one step closer to your breakthrough? What could you do today?
Be willing to let it go.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how willing are you?
I'll be honest, I'll say about 8.
Okay. Why not a 7?
Because I know that I can.
Mm-hmm. So what will you have to do to get to a 9? If you're already at 8, what will you have to do to get to a 9?
Have more courage.
More courage. And then once you've got the courage, that'll give you a 9 out of 10. What will you need to do to get to a 10 out of 10?
Just do it.
Good. So there's going to be an exercise we're going to do later on, and it's called a New Orleans flexibility drill.
Mm-hmm.
This will give you courage. And because of the New Orleans flexibility drill, you'll feel bulletproof.
Okay, I need that.
Once you get that, then you'll be able to do that.
Okay.
So as we move into those exercises, have that willingness to play full out.
Okay.
And I promise you that you'll get your outcome.
Okay.
Yep?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Now, how will you know you're on track to be able to release this feeling of shame and your fears today? How will you know you're on track? What will you see within yourself?
I'll be more willing to push through it. So when I get my blocks, I get like a tiredness feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So when I feel that tiredness, then I know that's when I need to really push through.
Okay. So when you witness the tiredness in Sam, are you willing to help her step up?
Yes.
You willing to help her step up?
Yeah.
Excellent. What tends to happen when you leave the path? Do you tend to want to run away? What do you tend to do? When you don't want to deal with things, what do you do?
I go to sleep.
Go to sleep. So if she goes to sleep today, what are you going to do? Now there's two red flags in her mind. She's got to be willing to push things through, so she'll be able to identify that. If I've got that willingness and that tiredness comes up, that's my first red flag. So that it's already in her mind now that she's got to be aware of that.
Mm.
And then when she wants to go to sleep, this is the second red flag, and she'll know what to do. Now, what behavioural flexibility will you require to have your success breakthrough?
What do you mean?
What do you have to do that maybe that you don't want to do?
To make the breakthrough?
Mm.
Accept that I'm going to cry. And not be afraid of it.
Anything else?
I think of it.
Good. So to accept that I'm going to cry and not to be afraid of it.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. And how will you need to hold or use your body during the success breakthrough? So if you can stand up for me and show me the physiology that you'll need with your body to have your breakthrough.
I have to be strong in myself.
Good. Does she look confident?
Yes.
What if you smiled a little bit more? How's that? So if you see Sam doing this, she's on path. Okay? And reminder.
Okay.
Good job. Good. So, what will you need to focus on today?
In terms of my
Breakthrough.
breakthrough,
What do you need to think about most of the time today to have that breakthrough?
about getting through it,
Mm-hmm.
what do I need to think about to get through this breakthrough? I need to think about
For you to be able to let go of the shame, to be able to release the fears, to have that willingness to move through that tiredness, to avoid going to sleep. You've shown us how you're going to stand and use your body. What will be your major dominant focus today that will pull you through?
to take action
Mm-hmm.
and to acknowledge my breakthroughs today.
Excellent.
And
Just-
be proud of them and not dwell in them.
Good. Just out of curiosity, if your boys were here and they saw you have that breakthrough, how would that make you feel?
They would hug me. They would want me to cry. They were like, "Mummy, were you crying again? Come on, Mummy, happy for say, Mummy, I am happy." They were telling me to do affirmations, but it will make me feel stronger for them. But that I was open, I think it will stop me from wanting to snap at them as well, because I take my frustration out on them a lot. I know I do, and I don't want to do that anymore. They don't deserve it, because that's what I had. I don't want to be reliving what happened to me, because I know I do it and I don't like it. So I do it even more, so I'm hiding my true self with them. And all they want is their mum. So I just want to be their mum.
So how proud will you feel when you change that family conditioning?
So proud.
Good. So I want you to focus on that.
Okay.
Good job.
Okay, thank you.
Let's have it. So you can see how powerful questions are when you have rapport. Let the client go through whatever they need to go through. And it's all part of the breakthrough. Anger, tiredness, fatigue, frustration, all come up before a breakthrough. And it's all sign of a breakthrough. So you've got to create that environment where your client can express their innermost concerns. And what we have to do is facilitate an environment where there's a positive self-regard, where it's totally free of judgment. And what happens is the client opens up. Because what happens is, most people try to give you advice, don't they? Do this, do this, do this, do that. But we can't hear it. And it's not what we need. We need to be able to get rid of the mental and emotional blocks, first and foremost. But it's not something that's happening today. It's the conditioning from the past. And it's probably also generational. And it just repeats the pattern. They say the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. They say that in the Bible. And we tend to repeat the mistakes of the mother and the father. But Sam will change the course of her family's history today. She'll have this breakthrough and that pattern will stop, won't it?
Yeah.
Because the thought of having that going through your boys and their children and your great-grandchildren, it's not something you want to do, is it?
No.
It's a big responsibility. So think about the legacy that Sam will leave behind today by making this change. First and foremost for herself, but then everybody else who follows. So give her a clap. So what I want you to do is to do this exercise with a partner, and I want you to find somebody that you haven't worked with as of yet. The exercise will go for about 10 or 15 minutes a piece. We'll keep an eye on you. 10 or 15 minutes. Go nice and deep, and make sure you're getting to the root cause. Don't worry about the surface structure. We want to get to the deep cause. If your intuition says, is there any shame there? Ask that question. She didn't say shame, but I asked her, could there be some shame there? She said no, but she came back around and said, there was. Because this often happens when we don't follow the family's instructions. They put shame on us to try to control us, correct? If we use shame, they'll conform. True, Elk?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So just test your intuition. And if they say no, that's okay. So how you can frame that is, you can say to your client, feel free to accept or reject what I'm about to say. Could there be some guilt or shame? And they could say, no, there's not, but there's remorse. What did you get? You got to the depth and you got remorse by asking a good question. So you frame it out by saying, feel free to accept or reject what I'm about to say. Could there be this? Could this be the problem? And then allow your client to process and think it through. Did you notice the gaps of silence? When there's a gap of silence, you know that somebody's thinking. And let them think, because something else might come up. Before you begin, is there any questions on the exercise? Good. Are you excited to be a coach? Excellent. Choose your partner, 10 to 15 minutes each.
Can I ask just one question?
Mm-hmm.
You know, on the sensory acuity, when you asked that question, did you ask on or off track? And that obviously then obviously Sam went sort of off track, didn't she? Is that right?
Yep.
Yep. Cool.
So what Sam told us was that tiredness would come up and sleep would be the next thing. So what she now knows is that if she gets tired, that's okay. Comes back into the awareness and her behavioural shift. What happens when you're speeding, you see the speed camera? You slow down. You knew the speed limit was 50, but you were travelling at 70, then you see the speed camera and you slow down. It's just a little warning sign. And then you come back to track. You adjust your speed correctly. Then I know some of you go past the speed camera and back up to 70. So keep it.
Just take a $100 hit, just carry on racing.
Yeah, just keep racing. Keep dragging. Okay, have some fun. If there's anything you need, just raise your hands and we'll be there to assist you. Have fun. How was your experience with Danielle in the hot seat?
I felt really nervous at first, but I'm really glad that I did it. I feel really good for having to release that breakthrough, what I want to actually release. I think it's definitely a necessity because sometimes we don't really know how that we can have these breakthroughs on our own, and when you've got that right person to help you make those breakthroughs, you'll be able to achieve so much more faster.
I've actually got breakthrough calls booked in for next week, so I'm going to use that process because I know that I'll be able to help these clients set free their limiting beliefs and have those breakthroughs they deserve. Because I've been holding on to this fear for so long, and it was something that I really need to just let go once and for all. I'd say to them, you need to do this. It's one of the best things I've ever done, especially if you're struggling with letting go your limiting beliefs. If you really want to be a success in life, this is most probably going to be the best investment you ever make for yourself, for your family, and for your career.
During this video, you've seen my client Sam go very deep and start to think about success in a different way. So when we ask good questions in the right order and sequence, our clients are able to access all of the resources they have within themselves. As I mentioned before, success is a concept, but through NLP, we can put success back into a process. Once you have a process, you have a recipe. Once you have the recipe, everybody can follow that recipe and produce the same result. What we know about Sam now is she is more self-aware. She's gone down into the depth to those things that are holding her back. She knows what action she needs to take. She's more sensory aware of what can happen if she leaves the path. She understands that she's going to have greater levels of behavioural flexibility and also to be able to operate from a psychology and a physiology of excellence. And you've seen it right there, how she's demonstrated what she needs to do to achieve success. In recent studies, they've discovered that all world champions have a coach. Now, if yourself or your organisation are planning to be world class, then I'd like to speak with you personally. I'd like to be able to show you how to implement these time-tested and proven strategies in your business to make more sales and more money. So go ahead today, send me a message, and I'll share with you key ideas on how to make more sales and more money in the week ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are today, good morning, good afternoon, and good night.